Hello and welcome to week 17 of NFL Gamepicks. And oh man, 2 more weeks of regular season football left. And then we move on to the playoffs, and that's when things are going to get a little dicey. And hopefully everyone can kind of jockey their way up through the leaderboards and make a big swing to get on top there, which should be interesting. But down to the brass tacks really quick. Dolphins finally got a big win against a team above 500, and you can pretty much lay those, I don't know, what do you say, like script, narratives to rest. Just because, like, it's a really good team in Dallas Cowboys, the Dolphins beat. And they did it without Jalen Waddle, essentially. Jay Sanders pretty much kicked all day long 5 field goals. And all of them were money, and all of them were from long distance, except for the game winner. So, big win by the Fins. Not entirely satisfied. We'll see about it after this week with a big matchup coming up against the Baltimore Ravens. But let's throw it to Chris. Well, how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Game pickers, what's up? Yeah, Bears got a big win last week against a crappy Cardinals team. But, hey, a win's a win. Cole Kmet got hurt, but he had like 100 yards in the first half before he got hurt. Khalil Herbert ran for 100 yards. Justin Fields looked pretty good, ran and threw for a touchdown. It was a good day, good game. Looking forward to the Falcons coming up.
Yeah, I've never been so disgusted in a loss in a win. Sorry, felt like a loss in my entire life. Looked like we were going to be pretty okay for a little bit there. And then, of course, Joe Barry and the defense happened. A lot of controversy going on in Green Bay right now. Jair Alexander, 1-day suspension because of decided to make himself a captain because the game was in his hometown of Charlotte, which he was not declared a captain before the game.
He was like an honorary captain, right?
No, like they named 3 captains before the game. He wasn't named a captain, and he walked out. And not only did he call the coin toss, but he messed it up to the point where he almost had Carolina receive the ball twice in the game, which sucked. So we'll see what happens there with Jair moving forward in the future. But I hope that this kind of gets him going in a better direction, because I don't know how happy I am with that whole performance of in general after Carolina. He kind of sucks a little bit now, so we'll see what happens moving forward. But I'm kind of pissed about it.
Did you see him in the locker room, like talking to the media recently?
Yeah, I saw the whole video after the fact. I kind of like his attitude, but at this point, I'm just very confused about the whole scenario and how to feel right now. So I just kind of want to wait and see what happens with him, and if he corrects it, yes, I'm hoping so, because I really enjoy him as a person and as a player being on my team, but I don't know, man. This is kind of bullshit.
Yeah, for me, it seemed like he was a little bit too nonchalant. Like, he was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, everyone knows
but
I'm
that's
from
him,
Charlotte.
though.
No, for
he
sure.
He says that about everything.
For
it's
sure.
annoying.
But, like, it seemed a little different this time for some reason. Anyways, let's get into the standings. We still have Yadian on top with a 154-86 overall record and a 9-7 week. I'm in second place right now. 8-8 last week. Not the best week for the boy. 149-91, and then we got Steve and Victor tied in third place for 147-93 overall, and then Steve went 11-5 last week, and Victor went 10-6. But let's toss it to Chris. Where you at?
Not a super great week. 9-7 last week. 143-97 overall. In 5th place. Need to have a nice bounce back week coming up, hopefully.
And Joey had a pretty good week.
Hey, I'm sneaking back. I'm tied for 6th with DJ, the former champ. So
big dog.
We'll see what happens. I think I want to really hop Chris and then try to crack into that top 5.
There we go. That's what we're talking about here.
You ain't hopping shit.
Hop off. How about that?
The best performers of the week were Brett with a 11-5 record.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Brett, by the way. And then also, like I mentioned, Steve, 11-5 earlier. And that's about it for the top performance. Next closest was 10-6. But full slate of football again this week until last 2 weeks of full slate of football. And then we slim it down quite a bit to 14 teams. Well, technically 12 teams for the first week of the playoffs. But let's talk about the here and now, and that is Thursday night football. We have the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. A Joe Flacco revenge game, if you will. And Browns are wearing their all white unis with a white helmet, all that good stuff. So lock me in for the Browns. I'm hyped for this, surprisingly. Man, this Jets team just stinks. But give me the Browns. Enough said. Who wants to go next?
I'm also going to take the Browns, and here's why. I think Joe Flacco is better than whoever starts at quarterback for the Jets. Although both teams are coming off they both got off wins last week, so they're, riding a little bit of a high. They both scored quite a few points, too, but I'm going to take the home team here. I don't like anything about the Jets. Defense is nice, though.
Joe Flacco is still elite. I'm rocking with the Browns. Jets fans got to be pretty shell-shocked that Joe Flacco is performing this well, knowing that they might have been able to sign him after the Aaron Rodgers deal and Zach Wilson not performing up to standards. So this kind of stings for them, I guess. Maybe not. I don't want to speak for anybody, but all I know is the Browns are going to walk in there and they're going to dominate.
Nice. All right, take us to the first game the only game on Saturday.
So, the only game on Saturday is Detroit going to Dallas, 8:15 at night. No afternoon, no 1 o'clock.
Solo dolo.
We're going right there, prime time at night. This is tough because both teams look really good. Detroit just won the NFC North for the first time ever. I guess congratulations to the little brother. I think I'm gonna go with Dallas here. They're coming off a loss, so I think they're gonna get a good bounce back win here against a really good team.
Yeah, I will go with the Dallas Cowboys as well. They had a bad loss last week against the Dolphins. They took the lead late and then couldn't stop the Miami Dolphins offense. And then against this Detroit Lions team, I'm not saying they're going to be complacent with that being said of them being the NFC North champions. But for the time being, they're ahead of them in the standings. So this is important for seeding. Should Dallas win here and Philly drop one of their next two games, then Dallas is still in contention for that NFC East. On top of that, just Dallas is going to be the number 5 seed in the NFC playoffs. Should they win out and Philly wins out, no matter what. Like if Philly wins the division, Dallas is going to be a 5th seed no matter what. So we could see this matchup again, possibly in the second round should it come to fruition. But anyways, let's take it with the Cowboys and make things a little bit more interesting in the playoff race.
Only game on Saturday, Detroit Lions. Just so happens to also be my dad's birthday.
Oh, there we go.
So what a good coincidence.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dougie Doug.
So shout out to the dad. I'm going to rock with the Lions. I'm going to fade you boys. I'm going to take the Lions. Dallas did have a bad loss, and I think they're undefeated at home as well so far this year. Lions are definitely going to have to play really stellar ball to win, but I'm going to fade you guys and take the Lions here.
You're making me low-key want to switch for Doug.
Do it for Doug.
I might make it a game time decision. But, yeah, this game will be on ESPN. This is like the supplement for the Monday Night Football no longer being around, especially since it's so late in the season. They don't want disadvantages, etc. But since you got your team coming up soon, I'll bounce it back really quick to me. We have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Philadelphia Eagles to kick off the Sunday slate of games. And I'm not going to waste too much time here because we're going to go with the freaking birds. And which birds am I talking about? The Philadelphia Eagles. How about you guys? Let's go with Joey.
Hey, Chris, who would you rather have fighting each other, a Cardinal or an Eagle?
Easy, brother. Battle of the Birds. Give me the Eagle, dog, all day long.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Give me the Eagle. This is an easy one.
Long.
The Jonathan Gannon, coming back to Philly game.
Oh, yeah.
Philly's kind of missing him right now. That defense a little shaky. We'll see what happens.
Interesting. Back to you, Chris. You have any reason for picking the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles just got an easy win against the Giants after a 3-game skid. I think they'll pick up another easy win, hopefully at home against the Cardinals, who aren't very good, and then finish the year off against the Giants with probably another easy win. So if you're an Eagles fan, your hopes are pretty high compared to Dallas, at least. Their schedule's a little bit harder for sure.
All right, what we got next?
Next, we got the Atlanta Falcons going to the Chicago Bears.
Bear down.
Bear down. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't try to go out here and win this game again. We're at home. I'm gonna rock with the boys. We've been looking pretty good. We're 3-1 in our last 4 games, I believe. So things are looking pretty decent for us. We are technically in playoff contention. If we win again, we definitely will be a little bit more. But like, I'm not saying we're gonna make the playoffs, but why not try to shoot for 7 or 8 wins? So give me the boys at home. Defense has been awesome, by the way.
I'm going to rock with the Bears. Last week, the Bears needed the Packers to win. This week, we need the Bears to win. Just kind of chipping away at those NFC remaining wildcard teams that we have lost to. Didn't beat Atlanta in week 2, which kind of sucks. We're paying for it now. So I am going to rock with the Bears here.
I will fade both of you and go with the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Falcons need this win a lot more. Yeah, it's like this will put you guys in a phenomenal spot in terms of playoffs because right now Falcons are 7-8, Bears are 6-9. Bears win, they get 7-9 and the same record as the Atlanta Falcons. Is also fighting for a playoff spot, but they're also fighting for the division. And they've been letting it slip away, and I thought they were supposed to be the favorites in that division, and they're clearly not. I think it's leaning a little bit more towards Tampa Bay. But for right now, let's go with the Atlanta Falcons, just because I think it means a little bit more to them. But this Bears team has been surprising a lot of people and getting a lot of these wins, so things should be interesting there. Let's go to the next game where we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars have been on a 4-game losing streak. Trevor Lawrence is hurt. I might go with the Carolina Panthers. I think this will be the first time that I've probably picked the Panthers this season. Fuck it. Let's go. Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, like Trevor Lawrence has a AC joint problem in his strong shoulder and couldn't get it to go last matchup. And Jaguars, the Panthers haven't led for a single second in the fourth quarter and have 2 wins. Make that make sense. Anyways, let's go to Chris real quick, and then Joey, you'll take us to that next game.
Cool.
I'm going to pick the Jags. Like you said, they're on a little bit of a losing streak. The whole team's a little shaken up, banged up. I'm going to take whoever plays that quarterback against the Panthers. I'm picking against them, so we get that pick. So hopefully they do get a win, so they stay in contention for the playoffs at least. Maybe Trevor gets healthy. I don't think he's ever missed back-to-back games, so he still might play. What is this, Wednesday? He's not ruled out yet, I don't think, but they did sign somebody today just in case as like a security blanket, I think.
I saw that because they always have to dress like 3 quarterbacks. I'm going to rock with the Jags here, I guess. I don't know. Carolina looked good last week against us, but that is the Joe Barry defense, so I don't know. It's his first game where he's actually looked like a first overall pick, so that kind of sucks. But I'm going to go with the Jaguars here.
Who do we have next?
We got the Rams traveling to New Jersey to face off against Tyrod Taylor and the Giants. No more Tommy Cutlets, no more Tommy Paisan, whatever. I think this is a pretty easy game to pick. I'm going to go with the Rams. Rams look like they're going to be a really, really, really sneaky wild card team. You do not want to play the Rams right now. If they get matched up against a certain team, they're going to upset them. They're hot at the right moment. Kyron Williams is kicking ass. I love their run game. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. The connection is back. I think that it's pretty exciting to watch. So I'm going to go with the Rams here.
Yeah, I was telling my dad, I don't think you want to see this Rams team, man. They might be sneaky good. Although Matthew Stafford,
I agree.
Coming back to Detroit, a little revenge game, that would be kind of cool to see. I'm not gonna lie.
I would absolutely love it. I think that he would rip the hearts out of the Detroit Lions fans, and then they would be forced to hate Matthew Stafford. And I just think that it would be kind of hilarious. Anyway, I am kind of mad that the Giants are benching Tommy Cutlets. They made him sit on a Gatorade cooler. But, all legends have to die at some point. And
legends never die.
Heroes get remembered, legends never die. I agree with that. I hope that he made a lot of residuals in T-shirt sales and whatever the hell else, because It's over for you, kid. You're sleeping with the fishes. Get out of here.
Dude,
You're
so
finished in this town.
I saw someone, they had just announced that they were benching Tommy DeVito. Someone posted like the Tommy Cutlets jacket, and they're like, I just got this 5 minutes ago. Like, what the hell?
So good.
But in all honesty, I think it's a little bit more fair that the Giants are doing this, giving Tyrod Taylor a chance to prove his worth, because I'm pretty sure he's on the end of his contract, so he probably wants to get out of town, because I think Tommy DeVito is there to stay as at least a backup to Daniel Jones. On top of that, just give Tyrod Taylor a little bit of time to just show his worth and possibly go on elsewhere. But this Los Angeles Rams team, though, really, really freaking good. Mm-hmm. And they are, like you mentioned, one of the scarier teams that has been surging really late, and it's reminiscent of the Lions of last year. Like, they're finally hitting their stride at the perfect time, and now they actually have a window to get into the playoffs. Like, the Lions were like a long shot to get into the playoffs, but they just kept on rolling and rolling and rolling. This Rams team is doing the same thing and actually have a chance to get in, so that's going to be cool to see. Chris, who do you got?
Yeah, let me get the Rams. Yeah, like you mentioned, they've been hot. I think they're 5-1 in their last 6 games. I think they pick up another win here against the Giants, who don't really know who their quarterback is right now, like you mentioned. Yeah, this Rams seems kind of scary. Super Bowl, might want to throw a little sugar on that. I think Dave Portnoy threw a pretty sizable bet down on the Rams, so it could possibly happen.
It would probably have the biggest return of all the people like in the playoffs.
So, I mean, they're getting healthy at the right time. The defense has looked pretty good, and like you mentioned, Matt Stafford's doing his thing with 2 really deadly wide receivers. I'm taking the Rams.
You threw $50 on the Rams to win the Super Bowl right now, it'd pay out $3,000.
Ooh. Big money ball right there.
Something to think about.
But yeah, like you guys mentioned, if the season ended today, they would end up playing the Detroit Lions, which would be absolute comedy. First playoff game cool. in 30 years at home, and you're telling me that your old quarterback is going to be the guy you're playing? Should be interesting.
Meant to be.
We'll talk about that later.
Scripted.
But back to you, Chris. What do we have next?
Next is a pretty good game. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Indy to take on the Colts. If you're not a Gardner Minshew believer, you're probably going to rock with the Raiders here, which I don't blame you. They've looked pretty good ever since Antonio Pierce has taken over as head coach. I'm going to take the home team, though. Give me the Colts. Minshew's been a pretty decent replacement. You know I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. I'm going to rock with the Colts here, although I think this is going to be a pretty tight game, honestly.
Yeah, this is surprisingly a really good game. Like, Las Vegas has looked all year. Indy's looked pretty good in their losses all year, too. But now, 7-8 versus 8-7 in this wild card race, getting pretty interesting. I am going to rock with Indy. I am a Gardner Minshew believer. I feel like Gardner Minshew is a little bit of a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. Anyway, I'm gonna say win 3 times fast for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I am going to go with the Colts as well. As much as the Raiders have had somewhat of a surge, I'm not calling the last performance a fluke against the Chiefs, but I would say it's kind of more of an anomaly, if anything. Just how they just balled out against that Kansas City defense, but they also kind of showed what Kansas City has the potential to be and what they kind of been a little bit like all season long, and it's kind of all come to fruition in one matchup last week. But this Colts team, man, with Gardner Minshew at the helm, they've been pretty good, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing there. But this can go either way. This Las Vegas team has actual fight in them, and they're not dead just yet. They're not entirely dead, but they're a long shot to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But moving on, we have the Miami Dolphins versus Baltimore Ravens. I'm very mad at Joey's team not getting flexed out, so my team could be in the primetime slot. But hey, no shame, because honestly, I didn't really want this game to be ending at midnight either.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of liking that it's at 1 o'clock. But in all honesty, Dolphins versus Ravens, it's gonna be. I'm hoping it's good. Last week we hyped up the Ravens game, and it wasn't all that good. It was pretty decent. Ravens just dominated. So, and then the Dolphins finally got a win against a 500 team. Now they have to take their show on the road and face the number 1 seed in all of the AFC. I'm hoping they come out on top. Maybe a homer here, but I am going with the Dolphins. But if there's a will, there's a way. And if you really want to do something, you want to get something done, you go out and do it yourself. You don't hope on other teams to win. So, and that's what we were all doing last week. Now we just got to go and put the boots on and go to work, get it done. So hopefully the Dolphins can do that. But let's toss it to Joey.
Yeah, man, I think I'm going to have to go with the Ravens here. That was such a convincing win against the 49ers on Sunday Night Football on Christmas. I was a little bit tanked up on Christmas night opening gifts. By then I was, fully paisanoed out in my tracksuit, watching it. I had a couple drinks in, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, no way. The Ravens convinced me that they are definitely, without a doubt, the best team in the NFL. Nothing against the Miami Dolphins, but this is really, really, really a tough team. If Miami beats them, proves that there's really any given Sunday in the NFL.
Facts.
I'm going to rock with the home team. Sorry, man. I'm going to take the Ravens. I know a lot of people here are picking the Dolphins, so I'm going to fade a lot of people as well. Yeah, they dominated the 49ers last week. That was ridiculous. This Ravens defense is sick. It's going to be a tough test. Miami, your wide receiver core has been a little banged up too, so I'm kind of a little hesitant to take them. I'm going to rock with the Ravens here, though. You guys are both fighting for stuff, though. The Ravens want to lock up that number 1 seed. The Dolphins want to win that division, which they could still honestly lose that division. So it's a tough battle. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, all in all, they're fighting for not only the number 1 seed, they're both fighting for their respective divisions because the Browns are right on the Ravens' tail as well. Should the Ravens lose out and the Browns win out, then the Browns become the AFC North champions and possibly the number 1 seed. That is like if a lot of weird things happen.
Yeah.
They got to hope the Dolphins win and then lose to the Buffalo Bills. But that's like the best route for the Browns to get to the number 1 seed, but it's still possible, which is kind of weird. But yeah, in all honesty, battle for the number 1 seed. If the Dolphins win here, they will have the advantage. They have like the better head-to-head wins, all that stuff. On top of just have the head-to-head matchup win on top of that as well. So now, should the Dolphins lose, they have to do everything they can to beat one of these next coming teams, which is going to be the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. And Buffalo, I think, takes this game with a breeze. But if my math is right, the Denver Broncos beat the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, jeez.
And the Patriots beat the Broncos. So does that mean the Patriots are better than the Bills?
Oh, man. I don't think so. Punch me in for the Bills. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to go with Josh Allen and the Bills. They're hot at the right moment. And if Miami doesn't pull off this W, next week's matchup is going to be frickin' get the popcorn ready. You can't script a better matchup for Sunday Night Football. They're for sure putting that in the primetime window.
Facts. But yeah, to go back to my pick, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. Let's make it plain and simple out there. But hey, I think the Patriots aren't entirely dead in terms of having a pulse, but they're in terms of playoff and all that stuff.
It's in the division too, so they're gonna want to steal this from them. They're gonna want to play the jerk.
Yeah, facts. Chris, how you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I think the Bills win easily. Like you mentioned, they're getting hot at the right time. I don't want to see this team in the playoffs if I'm anybody in the AFC.
The AFC Rams.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
I mean, Josh Allen and company is always deadly come the end of the year, come playoff time. I think the Bills get this one pretty easy, and they keep rolling. I think it'll be like 4 in a row for them.
I think that's also built up on the Bills came into the season being a contender. And
Super Bowl favorites,
yeah,
I think.
exactly, right? So you add that into the fact that now they're finally starting to get their stuff together. That's what's making them a little bit more scary than usual. One thing I must add is Diggs has had horrible numbers
Oh
for
my God.
all these wins, which is scary.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, they're finally starting to win games, and then next thing you know, Diggs is not being their number one performer.
Thanks for screwing me out of the fantasy championship, Diggs.
Well, they're always oh, Diggs isn't performing. And then when he's getting 15 catches a game, they're like, well, Josh Allen's not spreading the ball enough. You know what I mean? So
Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
it's you know, that's how they
I
are.
can't stand it.
What we got
Hey,
next,
but
Chris?
on to the next game. We got another good game. The New Orleans Saints going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs are on fire right
Crunch
now.
time football, baby.
The Bucs are really good. They've been looking really good. They're at home. I'm a rock with Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. Don't love to say it, but they're going to win, I think. I don't think the Saints stand a chance in this one. Their quarterback play has been pretty iffy as of late. No matter who's been playing, give me the Bucs at home.
Yeah, the Buccaneers are going to win this game. And speaking of teams that are playing hot that I did not expect, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really proud of Baker Mayfield, even though he panty dropped my team 2 weeks ago. That kind of sucked. But, you know, I don't know. I'm happy for the kid. You know, everybody counted him out in Cleveland. I believed in him. He went over to the Rams, got that one win that was really cool, and then kind of, you know, now he's in Tampa and just about to win the division. Really cool story. I'm rocking with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shake and bake.
Man, I'm in such a tough spot here. Like, I have no idea who honestly is going to win this game. I want to say the Buccaneers because they're the hottest team in football, one of the hottest teams in football right now. And then the New Orleans Saints, they have the full-on potential to beat a team that dominates this division, and they're not. And that's like the thing that's either upsetting me or just like making me so unsure of who to pick here. But let's go with the hot hand and go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love it. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Bake and all of those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I kind of saw it early on in the season, and then it kind of fizzled out, and they got to a bad point, and then now we're back, baby. We're so back.
Yep.
You know?
We're back.
But they have full control of this division. On top of that, their following week matchup is against who? None other than the Carolina Panthers. So should be a little bit of an easier road for them should they get this win and pretty much lock up all of that NFC South. And Chase Young revenge game.
Oh, is that it?
Is that all?
Yeah, is that what we're calling this? I think we're going to call this the 49ers killing game.
There's a reason why the Commanders bench Sam Howell is so he doesn't get folded into a pretzel by Chase Young.
That's very true.
Honestly. In all honesty, though, this 49ers team going to need a big bounce back win. Who's going to be starting at QB? I have no idea because Brock Purdy, one, didn't look too good. Two, they were saying he was kind of still dealing with some concussion symptoms. I'm like, well, why is he playing then? Honestly, he looked horrendous, but a lot of things there was a tip ball that ended up being in the defender's hands. So there's certain things in those type of scenarios I'm like, all right, you can't completely fault the guy, but at the same time, you gotta acknowledge it and be like, what the hell was this?
Yeah.
There was one specific play, though, I did love from Brock Purdy. It was late in the game. It was fourth down. He was about to get sacked, and then Christian McCaffrey was right behind him, and he flipped the ball as he was going down. It was pretty sick. But in all honesty, this 49ers team should dominate the Washington Commanders, regardless of who's in there. But let's see if Jacoby Brissett can play spoiler, because that would be pretty funny.
Your guy.
Oh, man. But who wants to get this one? Christopher Wright.
I'm going to take San Fran. Just make it easy. Yeah, this is going to be another battle of the backups, although Sam Howell is basically a backup quarterback at best anyways, I think. But, yeah, they put in, what's his name, late in the game. Sam Darnold late in the game. He did throw a touchdown. He also threw a pick. He didn't look too bad. I think San Fran can still get this one pretty easily against the Commanders. Although, and Joey, you could probably weigh in on this too.
What's up?
I think a Commander would probably take a 49er in a fight, don't you think?
Heavy artillery versus pickaxes. Yeah.
Sifters, yeah.
I would say so as well. But not at 1 o'clock on Sunday, December 31st. I'm going to rock with the San Francisco 49ers. They are going to. Oh my God! I can't. They're gonna beat the hell out of the Commanders. This is hilarious. What's coming up next? Should we throw it to Chris?
Yeah, we're gonna throw it back to Chris here in just 1 second.
What's going on?
What's going on?
You know, my boy CJ Stroud. He's coming back this week. You know who I'm rocking. I'm going with the Houston Texans. Man, I hate Houston as a city in a whole and everything about it. But anyways, I'm rocking with the Texans. Bought this in an airport when I lost all my luggage. Shout out Houston. But I think Will Levis is coming back, so we finally get to see the Levis-Stroud matchup, hopefully. But yeah, let me go ahead and take the Texans.
What do we got going on?
That shirt, I remember when he first got it, I'm like, ew. And then now I'm like, oh, okay. There we go. The Texans,
Dude,
they're rocking it. All right, what's up?
You should have seen him come. You should have seen him come back from the airport.
My God,
dude,
it looks rough.
He was just so raggy. He was like, You don't even want to know, bro. And it was all I see is him in a Houston Texans shirt. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It was bad.
Oh
funny.
man! If CJ Stroud does play this game, I'm definitely rocking with the Texans. But I'm a little nervous. This Titans team is pissed off at the Texans because of what happened last time they played OT, and then they ended up losing in OT. Just rough day at the office for that Tennessee Titans team. But this Texans team, man, they're legit, and especially if they got Stroud at the helm. The only concern is like how we haven't seen much of him since Tank Dell's gotten hurt, and that was like a 1-2 combo that was just like so elite. And now without Tank Dell there, let's see how he performs. I think he has a plethora of weapons there that can really benefit him, but I'm still a little nervous. But I will be rocking the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Texans as well. This game's pretty easy to pick, in my opinion. Tennessee, they almost knocked off Seattle, but to my anger, they did not. I would have really hoped for that. They kind of screwed me there. So I'm going to rock with the Texans. I love C.J. Stroud. I have nothing against him. I think that he's doing really well, and I'm glad that the Bears didn't pick him or somebody like the Vikings or something. So I could actually root for the guy like that.
Can you take us to Pittsburgh?
Sure can. We got Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Seattle to face off against the Sea Chickens. Listen, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Seattle looked a little shaky, like I alluded to last pick against the Tennessee Titans. I really need Seattle to lose a game, and I think that Pittsburgh has potential to knock them off right here. So I'm gonna rock with the Steelers here.
That's pretty good. I, on the other hand, will go with the Seattle Seahawks. I have a little too much faith in them. That's a little dangerous. And the Steelers are just kind of a wild card team. I should have known that Mason Rudolph starting on Christmas week.
I know,
was like
right?
A bookend, like what are we doing here? We're sleeping on like comedy gold here. But in all honesty, man, I think this Seattle team is better. But what's the status of Geno?
Exactly.
How is Drew Lock gonna play? Like a lot of inconsistencies, and that's the reason. Joey, for all of you guys wondering, was doing a little lock up. Seattle's been a little too inconsistent all year long, but given they've had a really tough schedule, being their previous just like one of the top teams in the NFC last year. But in all, you're not gonna. Same thing with the Steelers. You're not knowing what you're gonna get. So kind of 50-50 here.
I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks, and here's why. I think Geno Smith will be back. 12th man is real.
Yes.
Not a fan of Mason Rudolph. Give me Seattle at home. Nice and easy.
All right.
Next game we got up here is the Cincinnati Bengals going to Kansas City, take on the Chiefs. It's going to be a cold game, I have a feeling. 4:25. I think the Chiefs got to win this, right?
They have to.
Chiefs have to win this. Cincinnati just lost to the Steelers, like we just talked about with Mason Rudolph at the helm. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. Patrick Mahomes, make sure your wide receivers are freaking onside before you hike the ball. It's not on you, man, but, geez, what are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, I think it'd be hilarious if Cincinnati beat Kansas City here. So I'm going to rock with them, actually. Taylor Swift looks like a blow-up doll, and I'm over it. Let's go with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I was just about to talk about Taylor. Let's get her the hell out of Arrowhead.
Yeah, let's deflate that broad.
And get them far, far away from Travis Kelce. All in all, is it a distraction? Is it not? I think it's a bit of a distraction. Obviously, you throw anything into the mix, it's obviously going to be a distraction, whether it's a good or bad one. All in all, though, it's a little toxic at this point. Now we have bad blood.
It's awful. Oh, God. You see their stupid-ass Santa hats with 87 and 15 on them? Oh, my God. I hate her.
Yeah.
I hate both of them.
With that being said, though, I will be going with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they just need a massive bounce-back win. Browning kind of showed his true colors, but I'm not fully out on Browning. I think he has a really good potential to stay in this league and, one, be a really solid backup, two, possibly be a bridge quarterback, a starter somewhere else. Let's see what that brings them. But all in all, this Chiefs team needs to get it together. They have the lead in the division, but there's two teams fighting for a spot. one of them is not in this matchup. It's the Raiders and the Denver Broncos who are fighting for a spot. But in this matchup, we have the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. And, man, Denver losing to the Patriots last week was just like a stunner. Like, I get it. They had like a loss already recently, but this was a big one. Mm-hmm. This was a one that you shouldn't drop. Primetime game, you home team and all this stuff, and you still come away with it with an L. Russ is getting benched for the remainder of the season. Yep. It's supposedly a cap casualty. It's so they don't have to pay him like $37 million, which is kind of crazy. But this Chargers team isn't that great. I don't know who to pick here. It's kind of a crapshoot, but I will go with the home team just because why not? Why not? But Chargers actually look decent, and they gave the Bills a decent fight last matchup, so we could flip-flop to the Chargers. We'll just have to wait and see. But, Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, it's the Easton Stick Jared Stidham game on primetime Sunday night. Cannot wait.
No, it's not Sunday night.
What is it? Sunday? Oh, late Sunday. My bad.
Yeah,
late Sunday. But anyways, not super thrilled about the matchup. It looks like a lot of people are taking the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna fade everybody and go with the Chargers here. Pick up a nice, easy win against you all because who the hell knows what's going on in Denver and what the future is there. And if I was Russ, I would be pissed.
Not so fast. I'm going with the Chargers as well. They looked pretty good last week, so I am going to rock with them.
Copycat.
Yeah, sorry. You're not
All day
copying.
long.
I don't like Denver either.
Yeah, like I honestly don't like either one of these teams, and especially like in terms of like just picking in this matchup because you don't know what the hell's going to go on. So like I'm like leaning towards the Chargers a bit more, but I think like they ran out of juice. Like that was just like they gave it all they can and they came up short. But like I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same situation with this Broncos team. But Joey, why don't you do us the honors and take us to Sunday night.
Sunday night football. We got the biggest matchup of the year for the Green Bay Packers. Traveling to Minnesota, facing off against Nick Mullins and the Minnesota Vikings, who had a decent performance against the Lions, even though they did lose. Mullins threw 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Got a little golden sombrero there. So we'll see what happens against this Joe Barry defense. Maybe they'll make him look like Tom Brady. I don't know. I am going to rock with the Green Bay Packers here. I'm hoping for the best outcome for this season. We really need to stack a W here. Jordan Love and his revenge games this season has been pretty good when he's faced off against the Chiefs and, the Bears and people that, have doubted him and stuff like that. Bounced back against the Lions on Thanksgiving. So given the opportunity, Love does like to show a little vengeance, which I kind of like, but it has proved more and more each week that this team, the offense is going really well, but the defense is just terrible. They need to get it together. Stated at the top of the show, Jair Alexander suspended 1 game. This game, we will not get to see Justin Jefferson versus Jair Alexander. Kind of upset about it, but the kid hasn't been playing good all year, so I am going to go with the Packers. Kind of sucks, but let's hope for a W when the ball drops.
I'm going to reluctantly take the Packers here. Like you mentioned, Love's actually looked pretty decent. That defense kind of sucks, but this Minnesota Vikings team has a quarterback carousel going on right now. So I'm not really too high on them. I'm going to take the Packers, and it's going to make it interesting. Hopefully it makes this last Sunday or this last game of the year against the Bears a bit more interesting.
Be pretty cool.
Take the Packers here.
Yeah, what you said about the quarterback carousel kind of puts everything into fruition with my pick here. I will go with the Green Bay Packers. I was really on the fence. I was leaning Vikings, but unless they have Joshua Dobbs back there and I know beforehand, I will switch. But otherwise, let me just go with the Packers just because they have a more short thing there at quarterback than the Vikings do. I get it. They have Justin Jefferson back, and he did have a good game last week, but consistency is key. And if you're up and down, that's not good. And the Packers, even though they kind of aren't very consistent, I would at least have a consistency within my unit that would be better for me. But that wraps up the game picks part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And, Yeah. Final thoughts. Dolphins, big time game. Joey's team. A lot of big time games.
Game. Crunch time football.
Yeah, a lot of big time games this week. A lot of teams are kind of that 500 area, and with the 17th game this year, it makes things a little bit more different for the past couple of years. So that extra game is definitely a little taxing in terms of standings because now we're kind of like even in odds, but should be interesting. Any last words from you boys?
Yeah, really need the Packers to win here. Please come through. The defense really needs to show out. If not, fire Joe Barry immediately. Like, what the hell? I can't even get into it. Fire Joe Barry, please.
If you lose.
Regardless. Just get the hell rid of him. He sucks.
Okay.
This guy's awful.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of good games on the docket this week. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually off for Sunday, so I'm going to hopefully watch a lot of football. Hopefully the Bears get a good win against a not so great opponent at home. And like I said, looking forward to another good week. It's almost over, boys.
Yeah.
Goes by quick, huh?
It really is.
Yeah, following this week, there will be one more week of NFL football regular season, and we jump into the playoffs. And I'm super excited, especially now with the Dolphins finally clinching a playoff spot. But yeah, all in all, should be an exciting stretch of football, and let's hope a lot of the boys get into the playoffs.
Yep.
So you guys
hoping.
are next.
I'm hoping.
One of you boys get in here. Yeah, I'll be very shocked if the Bears get in.
Down, baby. Bear down.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.